News Daily. Yes, today is June 12th, Democracy Day as far as Nigeria is concerned. And our conversation is not far from the tree of democracy. As a matter of fact, it is one of, it appears to even be the trunk, really, of the tree of democracy. And that's no other than the issue of elections. We are going to be looking at elections. Don't forget the 2027 general elections are around the corner. And so quite a number of conversations are going on as far as these elections are concerned. Don't forget the parties at their primaries. Don't forget preparations are on top gear, as a matter of fact. Very soon campaigns will begin. So we are taking a look at INEC's integrity and the role of judiciary in the whole process of conducting a credible, a free and a fair election for the country. Now we are celebrating Democracy Day today, and today is actually significant because 33 years ago Nigeria had one of the freest and fairest elections conducted in the history of the nation. And ever since then, we have been struggling, as a matter of fact, to repeat that feat. So that's why this conversation is actually very, very apt, very necessary, so that we can look towards how we can actually repeat the feat of June 12, 1993. I mean, if it is possible, yes, and why not? Why not? It is definitely possible. We have joining us to discuss this issue from the studio. We have Tunji Onobawo. He is a constitutional lawyer. It is a pleasure having you joining the conversation.
Happy Democracy Day.
Happy Democracy Day to you too. And via Zoom, we have Dr. Mutiu Agboke joining us via Zoom. Dr. Mutiu Agboke is the resident electoral commissioner of Ondo State. It's a pleasure having you join us this morning on this conversation, Dr. Agboke. I'm not going to be doing this alone.
Yes, Dominic, thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Yes,
and, happy Democracy Day to you, sir.
My regard to Oga.
Of course, he can hear you, and because of the conversation.
I don't know who the person is, but I can see he's copying my purple. Good morning to everybody there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my learned friend.
I'm not alone. My colleague is here, doing Sola Gubadiwa, doing. Probably you fire the first missile of questions.
Good morning, Dominic. Well, you know, we're going to be doing this together. But I'm going to start from this aspect, you know. Democracy demands that we participate, not just watch. And the way the masses can participate is to vote during election. And you know, if Nigerians don't trust the process, they may decide not to participate. So my first question now let me ask Barrister Onobawo here, the first question, and that is on the scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Nigerians trust the election process?
Yes, thank you very much. Whether Nigerians trust the present process or not, all of us should be very good students of history. We know where we are coming from independence. Barely 5 years of independence, military took over, and we've been under military rule for a very long time. And I always say that for each 10 years of military rule, we are taking back around 50 years to rejig ourselves and start learning democracy. That is our. So whenever it is not yet we are still in a learning process and work in progress. So that's just it. So it's difficult to say yes. You can say we can. Oh, yes, it is true that unbroken 27 years or thereabouts from 1999 to date. Yes, the up and downs are there, and what have you. But the democracy, remember, it is the government of the people, by the people.
And for the people.
All these political gladiators, they didn't come from Israel or Saudi Arabia. They are groomed here, and excuse to subvert a democratic process,
Okay.
Poverty, ignorance, and what have you. We are all in it together. I'm happy that we are on this 27th year of unbroken democracy, and we continue to learn.
Okay, we're learning. Let me direct the same question to Dr. Agboke. Dr. Agboke, you said you don't know who is in the studio. Doyinsala Ogubadewa is my name, and you're welcome to the show. Now, let me ask you that question again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Nigerians trust INEC to conduct free and fair election in 2027? Dr. Agboke. Dr.
Okay,
Agboke.
why we allow Dr.
Yes.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we
Yes,
can
do
hear
you
you.
get my
I can hear
question?
you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you get my question, or I should ask again?
No, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you
Yes,
loud and
I
clear.
can hear you clearly.
Okay, now, yes, ordinarily I would have just said, okay, thank you. Ordinarily I would have just said, once my Oga has spoken, I should have just adopted the submission. Because on a good note, you will discover that what elders, what they see, some of us cannot claim, excuse me, to be on the same pedestal with them. But on a very serious note, I may not be able to apportion mark from scale of 1 to 10. But I can only tell you from few experience that we have gone through in our electioneering process at our level. I'm not talking about chief or another level. Don't call him Mr. Onoshi, Mr. Onobawo. No,
I said
so I cannot put myself on his level, but on our level,
Okay.
on the level of Dominic, on the level of my sister there, we are the same Sawawu, like you say. Now, between 1994 and 2006, I can speak to those events that have taken place in this country. Between 1992 to 1993, at least I don't know where Dominic was, and I don't know where my sister was, but I knew where I was as an active participant in the June 12 election. Now, carry that over to 1999. I'm sure you must have also known what took place. Carry it over to 2003, to 2007, to 2011. Dominic, let me share one thing with you so that you can be able to be guided. I'm a teacher, but I can give you a marking scheme so that you can use it to determine 1 to 10, which one. I am from Owu in Abeokuta, Okeago specifically. In 2011, my polling unit is at opposite Olowu's Palace in Abeokuta there. In 2011, we were casting our vote like this. The vote was ongoing. People were there. We stayed away. They said 30 miles or whatever at that time. We were looking at the ballot box like this. We were there. Suddenly, something human being just appear in another form. We just had our ballot box disappeared. That's one experience. Another election also took place where I was there too. What we saw at the polling unit there at Okeago, by the time we moved to the collation center, what we saw, what we recorded, was not the same thing as to what happened at that time. Dominic, if we fast forward all those events to what we started experiencing from 2019. To a large extent, because I had an experience, I can tell you that we have moved away a bit from electoral shenanigans. Not majorly, not absolutely. God forbid, there will be an election without any, few challenges here and there. But I'm saying that we are not yet there, but it is not business as usual. If somebody is saying nothing has changed in the electoral process, it's not correct. Because today, the violence you can use in the past and take advantage from, that violence cannot profit you today. Everywhere there is a violence, electoral is clear. In fact, I think, is it section 52 or thereabout, that says that where any election, where there is overvoting either orchestrated intentionally or caused by violence. Because from the election we have conducted, we have seen a situation where violence was orchestrated to put up overvoting situation. The result of that polling unit shall be zero. It's not that you could not cancel it, it's zero. Of course, technically, it means there will not be any result. So if somebody still believes that he wants to start hijacking ballot boxes from one polling unit to the other, to the other, to the other, that person is on his own. So Dominic, for me, in 2007, when the election was conducted, and somebody came out and confessed that no, this election is not the best for me. You cannot compare it to today. Today, that time, we had register of voters. That time, where your name was not found in the register, we had what they call incidental forms, incidental register, where you use biro to write your names. Where you had 10 names, 10 names can become 1,000. That cannot happen today. Primordial voter accreditation system, PVAS, is the means by which accreditation is conducted. And that is sacrosanct. So for me, it's a departure from business unusual. As it is today, we are not yet there, Dominic, because I know you'll be underlining my choice of word. We are not yet there today. Hear me very well. We are not yet there today. We are still going there. And I'm sure if we continue, we will reach there one day.
Okay. So you're saying that people should be able to trust INEC, at least to some extent. Is that what you're saying? Dr. Agboke? Can you hear me?
I think there's a...
Let me tell you, that's another issue for conversation.
Okay.
The issue of trust. Yes, I agree with you. I'm with you.
Go on.
Yeah, the issue of trust is a very big one, because where there is trust deficit between the election management body and the electorate. Election is about perception. How you manage it, how you start, how you allow level playing field for the stakeholders, how you allow people to be able to have access to electoral bodies. All this we put together even before the election day. I'll give you an example now. In Ondo State today, next week Saturday, we are conducting by-election into Ondo South Senatorial District. That immediately the mandate was given, direction was given by the National Assembly, we started the process. How? We called the stakeholders, we called political parties, we invited civil society organizations, we called the professionals, we called all of them, we briefed them. They asked access to us. All that we are going to do, we unfolded it. We went to the areas concerned, 6 local government. The headquarters is at Okitipupa local government. We brought all of them, security, political parties, we talked to them. We opened up. They saw what we are doing. So their perception of what we do is open, is clear, no ambiguity, no allegation of any sort. This is the way to go. INEC should be able to talk when necessary. INEC should be able to clarify where necessary. INEC should not allow ambiguity to fester. Because if you allow that, misinformation, disinformation will permeate the environment. So public trust will be addressed if the frontier of access to election management body is open and not restricted. So not halfway, members of the public should trust INEC, but when they are trusting INEC, they should not go to sleep. They should watch all of us, watch myself, watch my chairman, watch National Commissioner, watch our staff. When you see something, say it to us. There is nothing secretive about INEC work. There is nothing ogomic about INEC activities that you cannot hear. The only thing we cannot show you or allow you to have access to are our sensitive materials. For example, now election is coming up next Saturday. If you as a rec, I only know the day the material will come. I don't know the content. That is to the extent of ensuring the sanctity of the process. So public trust is a perception, but INEC, we will do our best to make sure that we allay the fears of the public so that they can continue to trust INEC.
Okay, so Chief Onobawo,
I will soon become a chief, but not now.
But he called you chief.
I'll soon make Mr.
Okay, so let's take a look at, I mean, there is still room for improvement, really, but there has been improvement over the years. But of course, it's not yet huhuru. And that was what you also said while you were also talking earlier on. But when you look at the pace at which we are going, do you think we are actually not foot dragging? Is it not taking too long, really, for us to really get to that stage in our national life where we can beat our chest and say, okay, the election will be fair, it will be free, and will be credible?
Well, we are talking about human beings, not machines, not robots, and human being with all our disposition. The other time we were talking about trust. Who is trusting who? Let us look at our life from maybe the family unit and ask each and every one of us about trust. Do we trust ourselves? The person who is asking for trust, is he trustable or trusted? So that is the issue. Foot dragging, I don't understand that, in the sense that, like I said the other time, we should know where we are coming from. We should know, we should have our history. We cannot just, at the point in time, comparing ourselves, our electoral process with America or UK and all these very old countries in terms of democratic practice. It's just like, at times when we talk about this thing, we'll be saying that, we should do it this way, can't we do it this way? But like I said, we should know where we are coming from.
But when you measure the amount of investment that we have had in this electoral process, investment in terms of monetary, in terms of human resources, in terms of, in fact, at some point, I think there was a national conference and then, or a committee, I can't remember, that also came up with a paper and made quite a number of recommendations in order to improve our electoral process. When you look at all of these and the humongous amount of taxpayers' money that have actually gone into putting in place structures for us to have good elections, do you think what we have is commensurable to the efforts that we have put in place?
Dominic, let me just ask you one simple question. How much over the years, let us even take it from 1999, has this country invested in power generation and distribution? What do we have today? So you don't look at those things from the point of view of logistics, money, training put into it. We just have to look at ourselves. How far are we responding to development? Or what is it? You know, it is very sad that it is only in this country that we be pointing accusing finger. How far has each and every one of us performed his or her civic duty or responsibility? Yes, those in INEC organizing elections, they are Nigerians. You had Dr. Abuki stating his route the other time. These people are not imported. Amukuton is from Kogi now. So we are all Nigerians. We come from several places, and you see, we live in such a corrupt rigid society that once you occupy, no matter how sensitive the public office is, people will still come to you from your family, from your acquaintances, from your hometown, everybody. We want you to do something, giving them very unlawful advantages. All what I'm talking about, when you are talking about democracy, you cannot just do away with rule of law. If you, everything is, there are laws, there are guidelines, there are all this, that this is how you do this thing. Has people been complying? INEC, for the purpose of conducting an election, do you know the number of ad hoc staff that are just brought in to make sure that things are done well, to see that everything goes on? You know, in thousands of polling units across the country, particularly for presidential election, even people from the academia have been drafted all over the years from heading INEC, and for presiding officers, those who will now announce the election, maybe at the local government, state level. You had a case in Cross River, Anambra State, where a professor or an academia was being tried for electoral malpractice. That even the duty they just gave him, ad hoc duty to do it. And you see, at the end of the day, all his misfeasance or misconduct will be attributable to INEC, who was organizing the election. So let us just look around ourselves and see all these things we are talking about. When we want to spend money, it is a human being that will approve, dispose, and pay. If it is sitting behind is a human being that will configure the beavers being used on the election day. It's a human being that will be at the collecting center. All these transmission electronically are human beings who are there. Has everybody performed his or her duty responsibly? So that is how I want us to look at it. We don't look at we held conferences, we budgeted so much, we do this, we do that. If we don't have credible people, trustworthy people, responsible people who should do all this work, we will still be finding ourselves at the level we are.
Okay, talking about, Dominic, talking about trustworthy people, I really want to know what you mean by that, because you've been saying that people should do their assignment well, they should do their part well. I just want us to, trustworthy people, how do you mean? You know, in this sector, we have professionals that are there that are supposed to do all these things. Everybody cannot go to INEC and say, I want to work for you, or let me do this and that. So, talking about trustworthy people, how do you mean?
It is not the certificate you parade that makes you a trustworthy person. Yes, we are talking about INEC performing well, policemen performing well, even high court judges and appellate court judges performing well. It's about integrity. We as a lawyer, you can only find a lawyer at any court. So, but the certificate or training will not guarantee integrity. And the basic requirement that as a citizen, you know that you have a civil duty to your country. It's not about that you will be asking for privileges or rights and what have you. Everybody must be conscious of the fact that when you are put in position of authority or to a duty to perform, you carry your integrity along with you and see that you do that thing as you should do it. There should be no compromise. That is the essence of this trustworthiness. When there is no integrity, there will be all what we are talking about. You see, I've always said that in my own profession, the legal profession is 100% integrity driven. So when you don't have that integrity and you cannot say no, this is not possible, this is possible, or this is the right thing to do without fear or favor, then you will find us in all this confusion we are still in. It's about rule of law, basic responsibility of every citizen to know that I have a duty in anything, in electoral process, in security. I have a responsibility to perform a duty. If I have information, report it to the appropriate authority. If you are saddled with a position whereby you should find yourself that if my father comes to me and say, please do this thing to favor this my uncle, say no. That is what, when there is no integrity, forget about all this trust and trustworthiness.
Okay. Dominic.
Now, Dr. Abuke, let's, you spoke earlier on and then you made a sharp distinction between what we used to have in the early 1999, 2003, and then before 2019 elections. And then you also told us what we are having right now. I mean, sharp distinction, no doubt about that. At some point, we used to have ballot box snatching, violence, rocking different polling units, in different parts of the country. At some point, we used to have overvoting. In fact, sometimes they will use palm kernel, and then they will start using it to thumbprint, on ballot papers. We know all of those, as a matter of fact. But now, all of those things are no longer there. And that, to some extent, can be regarded as an improvement.
But vote buying is still there.
Kudos, really, to INEC for the initiative, that have actually brought all of these things in place. But I understand that some persons feel that our rigging today is even worse than what we used to have in the past, because now it is systemic. Now it is, the more you look, the less you see, as a matter of fact. Now we hear politicians just do anything and declare me the winner. We'll go and settle it in court. We've heard politicians say that, and eventually when they get to court, the judges would actually uphold the election and strike out whatever the petitioner is bringing based on technicalities. And then some persons feel that is actually making the judges electors and not even the people electors. What's your thought in that regard?
You may not be able to handle that very well. It's a party to election petition.
Am I on?
Yes, you are on, sir.
Am I on?
Yes, you are on.
Okay, Dominic, you have said a lot of things that are not founded on factual. You have said a lot of things that are not founded on factual analysis. There are so many narratives that somebody will just say, this your statement that people will just do anything and proceed to court to validate it. It's unfounded. It's a narrative from no source. That's one. That they will just get to court, they will do one thing or the other, because we just uphold anything. That is also not correct. That is also not correct. Another thing is that at the end of the day, because we now declare, now the court now becoming the INEC, not the people. That is also not correct. And let me take them one after the other. Now, if you look at the entire gamut of this issue we are talking about, Number one, the issue of people perpetrating irregularity. It is the same stakeholders, i.e., political gladiators. They are the one orchestrating violence. They are the one sharing monies. They are the one doing vote buying, not INEC. When they try all this on election day, and INEC also put up structure to prevent it, they find a way to circumvent it. There is nothing INEC will do than to make they do the needful. So where needful is not done, people like you who always say, INEC, you are the organizer of the party. Oh yeah, ensure that doesn't happen. That's why I always disagree with people like you, that is not correct. Election is a multi-stakeholders activities. Sure. INEC is at the forefront. Security is there. Look at it. This ordinary by-election we want to conduct. We had our ICES meeting. ICES meeting is Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. I am the chairman of the committee. The Commissioner of Police is a co-chair. He was at the meeting and I asked, tell us your preparation, operational arrangement for this election. He told us, the Navy, because the area we are going is a water area, you know, the maritime area. And I called the Navy, they were at the meeting. Yes, INEC is organizing an election. What is my, do I know how to ride a boat, Dominic? If I try it, now under the water I go, God forbid. So they told us what we needed to provide, we have provided it. All of us were ready. The police will provide security as umbrella body. Navy will protect the waterways for us. The NOAA will help us in dissemination of information. So that is the aspect of the organization of the election. Now, when somebody now believes, hold on, Dominic, my slogan is that nothing will determine who wins an election except the vote of the people. Some people don't want to hear this, but I've said it and I continue to say it. It does not matter. But look at it. Some people still believe violence, money, harassment, killing and maiming will make them win an election. So what are we going to do? I'm going back to my Oga there. Oga has said it. If all of us we are sincere to ourselves, we do what we are expected to do as participants in this exercise, everybody will have ensured that his or her corner is well protected. That is that. Now, the idea of declare me anyhow, I will go to court to claim Dominic now. That is too heavy a narrative. It's a kind of assumption we always see. People say, people talk. It's more of imagination than reality. But Dominic, when you go for an election, for example, you conduct a primary, not even any primary, you saw all that happen everywhere. I don't want to go there. Even in the election conducted by INEC, you saw that somebody was sharing money, you have a videotape. The guy in evidence is the one sitting very close to you. Electronic entity is also acceptable in the court. You are able to present it. Not only that, you have witnesses that can give vivid account of what happened on election day at the tribunal. When you present your case, Dominic, by section 66 of the Constitution and section 46 or thereabout of the National Constitution, nobody shall be prevented from having access to court and all tribunals in Nigeria. You cannot be prevented. That INEC has declared you does not make it absolute. You are still allowed by law to approach the tribunal to make a case. that the court now listen to the story of how the election went, that the court now listen to the petitioner, and the petitioner is able to present his case. I'm not talking about those petitioners that will just fight for fighting sake. I'm not talking about those ones. Petitioner that does not know how to assemble witnesses. He listed 102 witnesses. By the time the trial commences, he is only able to call 1.5. Dominic, you know 1.5 witnesses? 1.5 is you call first witness. When they ask you whether with petition or your second person, call the person midway, the person collapsed and is unable to continue. The following adjourned date, they asked him to continue. He said he has withdrawn. He's no longer giving testimony. And he has listed over 100. This is not the way to do election petition. So, Dominic, there are intricacies and technicalities. Let me now learn where you ended. You said, like a lot of people who are not learned will say, you said on technicalities, the judge will just declare and just declare. Dominic, for your legal education that you will not pay for, but I will charge you later.
Okay.
That you call technicality is part of the law. Is part of the law. Where the law requires you to do a thing, and you refuse to do that thing, and I discover that you have not done that thing, I will bring an application before the judge and say, may Lord, throw away Dominic from your court because he has not complied.
Okay.
You consider that
whose role will it now be to educate, sensitize the electorate that, okay, these are the things that you can use as evidence. If something is going haywire, in your polling unit, you can do this and it can be admissible in court. This is technicalities that you cannot argue against, and these are the technicalities that you can argue for. I mean, whose role is it to enlighten the electorate?
You already enlightened, Ms. Chief.
Electorate like how? Once election is conducted, like Brian will say, you are functions of video. You see, if you want to learn that, let your lawyer, you must have paid to your lawyer because it's a legal knowledge. You want to learn. You have to go to your lawyer, go and read the electoral act.
That's for the politicians. That's for the politicians. For the private citizens, the private citizen who is also concerned about having a free and fair election, and he wants to be the police. He wants to be the police. He wants to be the police in his polling unit.
You cannot. You vote and go.
Dominic, once election is conducted,
no, because earlier on
you have finished election.
No, because earlier on you said we should not just fold our arms. You said the people should watch. We should watch. We should be on you to ensure that you are doing the right thing. So if I do not know what I need as evidence, or to know, I mean, where you have heard and where you have not heard, how do I differentiate, between, knowing that you have heard, and how do I know that you are doing what is right and what you are doing what is wrong?
Let the media can take that up to OGTV and get the service of Mr. Nabawo and create one 30-minute program. Nabawo will be available so that they can be educating people.
We've been doing that.
Like that. It's a serious job.
Okay.
It's a legal knowledge you want to learn. Dominic, it's not for free.
Okay, Dr. Agboke, can you hear me?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's go this way. Beavers was introduced to stop rigging in elections.
I'm with you.
Yes, I'm also with you. I said Beavers was introduced to stop rigging, and because from what you told us earlier, you told us about how ballot box was snatched that time, 1983. So now, Beavers was introduced to stop things like that. So, would you say that it has increased INEC's integrity or create a new problem for them?
Anyway, for us as a commission, it has allowed a process of genuine authentication, of identification of people who have come to vote on election day. With BVAS today, it allows for a problem for us. No, we have not seen it as a problem. But there are, of course, there is one challenge or the other. For example, you know, a BVAS will shut down. Immediately it shuts down. At the very close range, we have our RATECs, registration area technicians. Immediately, any BVAS is noticed to have shut down or with any technical problem, they will rush there. Once they rush there, they address it, and the BVAS start working. It has deepened the public trust. In fact, in terms of the issue of accreditation, and accreditation today, and look at the way the law has also assisted it. When they saw that the certainty of BVAS is as close to 100 as they could imagine, they now start to misuse the provision of Section 52 or thereabout of the, of the Electoral Act, to the extent of now deliberately increasing the number of votes cast on election day. Okay, 51, sorry, Section 51 of the Electoral Act. We talked about overvoting. So the overvoting now, if you have 10 people who are accredited, it means in the ballot box, it is 10 people you must find there. Somebody will not go and pick one vote, they put it just to invalidate. That's another thing they are doing. But the commission has also addressed it. We don't want to know what happened, who did it, who did what. Okay. It is security we will use to checkmate all those excesses. So my sister, to a large extent, BVAS has increased the credibility of accreditation on election day.
Okay, coming to the studio now, Barrister Onobawo, what he has said, I agree, but do you know that the courts, they now rely on BVAS data and screenshots, that's the evidence of tech, and we can say maybe to them it is fairer than human evidence. So now, as he has said, can that be enough evidence for anyone to go to court? Because it says that some of these machines sometimes shut down. In the period of shutting down, do you think any Yankee Panky can come up?
I sympathize with Dr. Mutiu Agboke because
why?
All those things we are firing at him, ordinarily he's an interested party. The INEC is always a party at election petition tribunal. It's just extracting from him a sort of statement which will appear that willy-nilly he has to protect his source of livelihood, his job. That is why, well, in this program, a person like me, I'm not a staff of INEC, I'm not a politician, and of course, I'm a registered voter. So because we see all these people, all these political gladiators watching this program, they say, oh, the lawyer, these are the people on election day, they will sit down at the corner of their watching television, I'll be talking, they don't participate. That's a bloody lie. That's the kind of things they push out to discredit the process, particularly when their party or their favorite candidates is not winning. So all these things, you see, law is always all these things are built on the rule of law. That is why we have the Electoral Act, the INEC guidelines, which has to be obeyed. For example, they did a timetable and say, okay, all these primary things should end by 30th of May. And some people are just grumbling at the background because you cannot put your house in order at the level of your party. you are jumping from one place to other. You cannot even know which party is sponsoring you. They are now saying that how can INEC be saying that they cannot shut out? What is fundamental about that? Their INEC guideline is very sacrosanct because it's built on law. So you have to obey it. So, and all these things, election petition tribunal is built on established law. If you want to go to election petition, you must have your facts and figures, like he was alluding to. It is unfortunate that many people who don't read the judgment of election petition tribunals and even the Supreme Court judgment in respect of the last presidential election.
Because most of them are based on technicalities.
No, that is why Muti Agboke is telling you directly that you are wrong. It is very wrong, because you see every profession, like in the media now, even what is happening in the studio, some of them will be like, it done to me because I'm not there. But if you want to embark on a process whereby law is the bedrock, who do you consult first? If you are sick, if you have a headache, who do you go to?
Doctors.
So if a doctor is performing his job on you and you just feel a relief, do you just shout out, these people are performing magic or technicalities? No, the laws are there for people to obey. Basic things, if you say there's election malpractices, bring the evidence before the court to show. You know, their problem is that they cannot, people who are running for all these elections, they personalize it, they cannot afford it. There are thousands for presidential election, polling youth across the country.
No, if we want improvement of our electoral system, should we not ensure that even the common man on the street is well informed as
Forget
far as
about the common man on the street.
No, the common man is involved.
So, let me tell you why you can. If you are not contesting election, you don't have locals to say certain things. My basic, that's why I'm telling you about basic.
These are the same people
No.
tomorrow will grow to
Don't let us just throw the net of the masses.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
No, you cannot throw it. You have a basic responsibility as a citizen to register for election and vote. For example, somebody who sat in his house and didn't register. When they are talking about election, he'll be talking. What does he want to say?
I agree with you.
If you don't register.
As we coast home, and because time is not on our side, and I want you, Dr. Agboke, to be as brief as possible. Now, as we actually look forward to the 2027 elections, already there are some stains that appears to be on the Independent National Electoral Commission already. There is the issue of the alleged tweet of your chairman recently, which people have not really been convinced that this tweet, though it was made a very long time ago, but people have not really been convinced because a truly independent body has not really conducted forensic investigation, to really unravel who owns or who tweeted that particular tweet. And then there is also the recent release of information of Emeka Ike by the media aide of the FCT minister, which some persons believe it is sensitive information, which an ordinary person who is not within INEC could not have access to. All of these things are actually putting very big question mark on the integrity of INEC as we face, as we look forward to the 2027 elections. What do you have to say to this?
You see, Dominic, I know you know. You're my you know how to put somebody at the proper land and put the knife on the neck. As if you want to kill a layer. Anyway, those issues you have raised, they are not within my purview. I am resident electoral commissioner, INEC, Ondo State. So, all you are permitted to ask me is within the range of Ondo State.
Okay.
So, if you need a number, after the program, I will forward it to you. If you need a CPS number, I will forward it to you.
Okay.
But let me go, Oga. My own is beyond defending my job. Oh. No, I'm a lawyer. You know I'm here on a sabbatical. But the fact is that our people don't speak to the issues because they don't understand what issues are. So, but as far as we are concerned, we are professionals in INEC, and we must ensure that we uphold our job, we reflect the integrity of our job in what we do.
Unfortunately,
and I think that has been my own style all the while. So, Dominic, sorry, I will link you with Uncle. You will talk to him.
No problem. You can give us the numbers of whoever you want to give us, so that we can also bring them on the program and shed light on these issues. We must thank you, gentlemen, for your time with us this morning on the program. Of course, we've been speaking with Mr. Tunji Onobawo, who is a constitutional lawyer, and of course Dr. Mutiu Agboke, the resident electoral commissioner for Ondo State, who has actually joined us via Zoom. We thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time with us, and of course we've got to go.
Yes, we don't have to go. We have spent more than what we should. Join our colleague again on Monday for another edition of New Dawn on OGTV. Doing Salo Kubadiwa.